Begin transmission. Hello, everybody. It is Chris, aka Starrapter, back with the full crew, Milton and Ben, for Outer Rim Transmission. This is episode number 192, and this is the calm before the con. Not only am I going to Celebration, but Milton's also going to a convention in a few days from now. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about conventions today on the podcast. But as Lucasfilm would have it, the day after we recorded, they also dropped a brand new trailer for Andor. So we're going to get into that and many more things. I'm going to throw it over to Milton because I did see what you posted on your socials with pertaining to your wedding, and I gotta congratulate, man. That was some cool stuff. You posted a Stranger Things trailer for your wedding as well as a Star Wars crawl. So bravo, that was well done.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Just trying to was a little creative and just unique to how my personality is and the things that I like to watch. Obviously, I've been working on the Star Wars crawl for about a couple weeks. The Stranger Things just kind of popped up. I was taking a walk, and a video popped up about best opening TV titles or whatnot, and I was like, man, that'd be kind of cool to create like an intro title for like my wedding coming up. And I was like, all right, so I decided to do it, and it worked out.
Yeah, and I would say it worked out pretty well. So yeah, that's coming up. That we've been talking about it. It's just a matter of like 2 months away at this point, pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's 20 or 30 something, no, 80 something days away. Yeah, it's
there
almost 3 months away. So
countdown is on. How's it going, Ben?
Good, man. Just another week. Been working on different house stuff, continuing to diet. Really been locked in on that, so that's been great lately. Just consistently losing weight and everything, and just that's just been going really well. I've down like 16 or 17 pounds so far, which has been nice. Because once you get close to like that 20 pound mile marker, it's kind of like a good really good motivation boost, good stepping stone. So I'm was excited doing that, or creeping closer to that, and then kind of for my week in Star Wars is connected to that, just because throughout this week I finished up the original Kenobi audiobook, and I'll do like a full review in a future episode of our show, when we're in like the off season, like after Andor and stuff. But just want to give that book a shout out. It's phenomenal, really well produced, and Jonathan Davis does a great Obi-Wan. Like when you listen to that book, like it feels like it's Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan's diary. Like it feels like it's him talking. So it's really good, and I highly recommend it. And I'll get into a lot of the details in a future episode.
Yeah, I should listen to more audiobooks. Heck, maybe I'll download one for the plane and all my crazy travel that's happening. But yeah, Kenobi, great novel by the great John Jackson Miller. Yep. I pretty much like everything he's ever wrote with Star Wars. He's just quality. There's just consistency and quality with that guy. Seen him at a couple panels around the town here. Yeah, really, really good stuff there. I mean, I remember there's something like a crate dragon at some point, right?
Yep, you got that. The cool thing about it too is, like I tweeted, I think on Friday, like the book, of course, I'm sure there's like little things in like comics or things or whatever that could potentially counteract some of the things in the book. But for the most part, the book could be inserted into canon without counteracting anything, because I was under the assumption, going into that book, I thought that was the book where Obi-Wan finds out about Vader, but it's actually not. It's Vader Dark Lord Rising is the book where he finds out about him. Like in this book, the only glimpse of the Empire you get, it's like a faraway glimpse of like Obi-Wan and one of the characters. They see a stormtrooper with an Imperial officer, they're like doing some sort of a census type thing, and they don't even interact with the characters. Other than that, the story is completely standalone. So it's done really, really well in that regard.
Yeah, maybe we'll just get some cool a new Kenobi book announcement or something. I could only hope. since you went first, I'll go next with my week in Star Wars here. This one's for the visual aid. This one is for the audience here on YouTube. You've probably already seen this if you've seen the video I posted earlier in the week. And I haven't gotten a Hasbro Black Series figure in a long, long time, but this one broke the streak here. I hold in my hands Prince Zizor from Shadows of the Empire. I remember playing with this action figure from Kenner back in the day, back in 1996. Having all sorts of, imaginative storylines I would create with Dash Rendar and IG-88 and all these guys from the video game I was also playing at the same time. So, hey, I got to give props to Hasbro or credit where credit is due, because this thing looks great. I mean, I like how there's the flaps on the arms, right? Like you got this like fabric that's and then like a leathery kind of material otherwise for the cloak, but I don't remember ever seeing him with a staff. But then again, we don't really see much of him. But just see, the more I look at him, the more I'm like, just give this guy a good meaty story in the current canon, because he is canon. You see his hologram for literally one panel of frame in a 2023 comic book? Yeah, something like that. So he's out there. He's doing something with the Black Sun, and just when is he ready to come in? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I have the full unboxing. I haven't done an unboxing video for like a figure for probably 5 years on the channel. So I said, you know what? This is a good special occasion. I'm gonna do this for once. I'm gonna do this for a change. So there you go. I very much enjoy it. And the strange thing is, there's a Luke and a Bouche Leia with that Shadows of the Empire design, but we still don't have a Dash Rendar figure. I mean, come on. How do you have a Shadows of the Empire line and you do not have a Dash Rendar figure? You know that thing would sell like crazy too. Come on. Like, we got enough Darth Vader. People are ready to buy something unique, and I can't tell you how many people, Legends fans, EU fans, will just buy multiple Dash Rendars probably.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I've looked into personally getting some of the different Legends figures from Black Series, just because, like you said, it gives you kind of memories going back to the 90s, having fun with all those different Kenner figures, whether it be Dash or Zizor or Mara Jade or Sabayoth or whoever. Like, those different Legends characters, I mean, they have so many of them in Black Series except for Dash, which is so interesting. Who knows? Maybe, Chris, maybe they're waiting for that big moment at Celebration this year. They just go and say, here's a surprise announcement for Chris of Outer Rim Transmission, and they announce a Dash Rendar animated series or something.
Oh my gosh, I might actually explode in joy.
I say, maybe that's the surprise.
Oh man, well, we have a new video game that's going to be revealed, and we're going to get all to this news. We're going to get all to the panels, everything here in a few minutes, but I mean, hey, there's an opportunity there. We have a Star Wars convention happening in 2 weeks' time, just about 2.5 weeks. So maybe we'll figure it out there. Milton, I want to talk a little bit about your convention, because I did some digging right before we went live for Steel City Comic Con. So what day or what days are you going to this convention?
Yeah, I'm going on Friday, which is this Friday, the 4th. It's from April 4th to April 6th. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm just going day one. I'm just trying to explore a little bit, check out the different booths, maybe obviously meet some celebrities. If I can get into a couple panels, that'd be great. Looking forward to just getting a good experience of Steel City Comic Con. I've never been, obviously, but it's one of the major cons in Pennsylvania, but also in the Northeast region. A lot of big time celebrities do come to this convention. It's located in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, which is about 15 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. They have a convention center there. And like I said, it's very well known. It's definitely one of those ones that's highly recommended by not only fans, but for celebrities to attend. I mean, if you look at you did your research, look at the star power that's coming, that should tell you something right there.
Yeah, dude, you're about to have yourself a mini celebration, because I did some digging, and you're going to really be lucking out with this, because apparently Hayden Christensen is doing a panel. Katie
Yep.
Sackhoff is doing a panel, and they're both doing it on
Yep.
Friday back to back. Like, dude, we don't even get a Hayden Christensen panel at Celebration. He's coming there, so
Yeah.
you got luck, man. you got something. You gotta go.
I mean, now listen, I didn't pay for that section yet, but I mean, I'm thinking about when I get there, because I know he's going to come in late. So I know they saw like his flight's going to be coming in later, so he'll get there like an hour or two later. But I'm hoping like there might be some slots available, or if I get lucky, just be able to like maybe they have something set up to where you can see it from like a different like part of the convention where they have maybe a screen set up or something. I don't know, but it'd be nice just to be able to see or just to be around it. I mean, that's probably what I'm more excited about. Not necessarily just going to try to meet the guy, but just being around that type of stuff and just having the opportunity to be in the same vicinity as Hayden Christensen and Katie Sackhoff and whoever you can think of that you want to meet someday.
Yeah. So looking at this list, it appears to me that there's probably just like one room. It looks like for all these panels happening. But looking at the fine print, it doesn't appear that you have to buy anything. You just probably have to wait in the line like super early if you can.
Oh, it might be first come, first serve.
Yeah, that's what it says. It says seating at all show events is limited. VIP and 3-day pass holders have priority seating. However, seating is not guaranteed. So you can get in. It's just you might have a seat in the back, and you're not going to be guaranteed a seat. So my rule of thumb with these panels is wait in line an hour early if you really want to plan on it. Like basically get in line as soon as the previous panel gets in. That's when you want to be let in the line for that. Now the only thing with this panel, this whole thing is I don't know if they're going to clear the rooms between the panels because some of these smaller cons, like literally people just sitting there all day and they won't give up their seat. So I don't know how that's going to work. I know with Celebration they clear the rooms, but like sometimes in New York Comic Con you could just like chill in the rooms, and then that also sucks because then you got people that wait all day in the panel just to guarantee that they're not going to miss Hayden Christensen at the end of the day at 7 p.m. So.
And that's the thing, like, obviously, like, if I know it's a later panel, I think they're like 7 and like 8 o'clock or something like that. I forget the times. You might have it in front of you, but that's the only thing that sucks though, is that they're later. And I think like we're getting there at like 10 in the morning because we're leaving here around 7. It's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get there. So we're leaving to get there like around 10 when the doors first open. And my biggest thing is going to be obviously seeing everything that's there, whether it's from figures, pictures, comics, movies, whatever's available. However, it's the fact that I will say, and my fiance already knows this about me, I'm not going to be there all day unless I absolutely really want to be, or if I really want to see something that's going to stand out. So Hayden and Katie Sackhoff would be the only 2 reasons that I'd want to stay there all day if I'm able to even get into those panels.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. I'm actually confused by this panel timetable because it gives you the slots. It says 6 to 6:45 is Katie Sackhoff. Then 7 to 7:45 is Hayden Christensen Q&A. But then it says parentheses 8 p.m. to 8:45 p.m. So is this like a 2-hour panel? Like
that's the thing. I don't know because how I read it, it was weird because literally like last week they said like on the Facebook page and even Instagram page, they're like, oh, Hayden's flight is going to be coming in like an hour later. And I'm thinking, well, that's going to screw up their schedule. So I'm thinking maybe like they're giving wiggle room for if he is a little bit later, because he's still doing like VIP signings. He's doing like autographs and stuff, I think, beforehand. So they may have to shift their schedule to accommodate the panels, because he's going to be there for all 3 days. Or I think it's all 3 days. It's a Friday and Saturday he's going to be there. It's 2 out of 3, I think, he's going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I know he's obviously traveling to Japan the following week.
Yep. That guy's going all over the world, literally. Canada, United States, Japan. Is he stopping over in the UK at some point? On the way home.
Honestly, at this point, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, listen, if I'm Lucasfilm Star Wars, I'm like, listen, I'm putting this guy out there because isn't he filming Ahsoka right now? Too?
That's right. Ben, we just got an update from the actor of Ezra that they started filming now. So it's like, how the heck is this happening?
So his schedule is going to be insane, which is, I guarantee now to think about it, is probably why his flight's going to be moved or has to be adjusted, because he's literally going from Well, where do they shoot Ahsoka at? Is it here or is it in London?
I think. Wait, are they? I think they are filming in London this time, aren't they?
Yeah, I think, yeah. This year it's supposed to be like a bigger production type
Yeah.
deal. It's at the London location, I'm pretty sure.
Like he literally, if he's in London, he's coming from. I mean, I assume he's there right now filming. So he's literally coming from London to the East Coast for 2 days, and then traveling across country or across the pond to a different hemisphere. Like I don't know how he does it with that travel. Like I'd be done. Like and that's it. That's within 1 week.
Well,
Yeah.
Milton,
Oh, 2 weeks.
Well, Milton, I can tell you how. Very, very nice compensation.
Absolutely, like you're not wrong, but I'd be surprised if Lucasfilm said, "Hey, we'll charter you, we'll fly you private. You're literally going cross country multiple times, across hemispheres multiple times. We'll make it accommodate." Which again, it wouldn't shock me if it was like he came in through like a private plane or something. Like if I'm Lucasfilm Disney, I'd front the bill for that. It's like this is one of your leading guys in your whole IP, who's literally going to do 2 conventions and filming a show. It's like, come on, like give the guy like something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And for whoever else that is interested, just some highlights of some panels that are also happening at Steel City Con the day of Friday as well. Right before Katie Salkoff, you have Back to the Future panel featuring Lloyd and Wilson, as well as Saved by the Bell with Lopez and Berkeley. They just have the last names listed here, so I'm not going to actually look these people up. I think you know the lead stars, the first names for some of these people. Saturday, Cobra Kai. You have a Dawson's Creek panel. Oh my gosh, that is a freaking callback to when I was
Great show.
elementary school.
Well, Chris, Milton's gonna get to see Mando season 3 star Christopher Lloyd's. He's on that Back to the Future panel.
That's right.
Dude, yeah, he'll get to see him.
It's like a mini Star Wars celebration there on Friday night. It really is. And then you also have Louis Guzman. You have American Pie panel. And you have a Happy Day panel with Howard, with Ron Howard there and Winkler as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like Ron Howard's going to be here. Like that's what I'm telling y'all. Like this panel isn't trash, or this convention is not trash. It's one of the better ones. It's nice. It's literally, if you put in a top 20 panels of like Comic-Con types, this will make the list.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the WonderCons, the CinemaCons, the New York Comic-Con, the San Diego. Mm-hmm. Obviously, any celebration for Star Wars. You have oh god, I mean, there's a whole bunch I can think of, but like this is on it. Like this is one of the main ones.
Yep. Yeah, so there you go. And as you said, that event runs this upcoming Friday to Sunday. So if you're in the Pennsylvania area, go ahead, check it out. And hey, maybe you might just find Milton walking around there on Friday. So representing Out of Transmission and representing at Steel City Con.
Yeah. Just what I got to do.
Yeah, so I'm assuming follow your socials because you might be posting some pics of some really cool things throughout the weekend there.
Yeah, probably. I'll probably take a whole bunch of pictures that day, and then post them like either that night or like the next day.
Awesome. Very, very good. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
I mean, listen, just follow your boy. Let's enjoy the ride this weekend. Obviously, next week with Chris going out of the country for Japan, enjoy the ride. It's gonna be a lot. I'm hopeful for a lot of big Star Wars announcements. I think we're going to get a surprise that we're not expecting.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is we always want that one thing that is not noticeable, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have Andor, we're gonna have Ahsoka 2, we're gonna have blah blah blah, but let's come out of left field with something that we're not even thinking about. That's always the best big surprises. When they came out with Thrawn, Celebration London 2016, everybody went crazy. Oh my gosh, this Legends character is canonized in animation, blah blah blah. So I want something like that caliber. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there you go. So if you are watching us live, you can always listen to us after the fact. Just search Outer Rim Transmission. We're available on all podcast streaming platforms, and we go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern here on the YouTube channel for Starrapter, youtube.com/Starrapter. Shouting out to chat, we have Tyler Smith, we have Aaron Daly, we have Small Bentu Sakura, Yeah, so welcome to the chat. We have a very lively, positive community here on the channel that we love to communicate with, and you guys can oftentimes steer the direction of the show. If it's like kind of a reasonable question and different things, we'll try to answer it, at a decent time throughout the cast here. But yes, getting into the week that was. So out this week we have The High Republic, Fear of the Jedi #2. More crazy shenanigans happens with the Storm Wall, and that's where I'll leave it because I don't want to spoil anything. Me and Matthew do a good job of spoiling everything for the comics every week on the Star Wars Underworld YouTube channel, on the Tractor Beam Show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So there you go. Listen to that or watch that because he's also got it as a podcast now. And I also have a review of both these comics, which also includes the Rise of Skywalker adaptation issue #2, which is a pretty admirable job of, kind of providing slightly more insight to a movie that maybe not a lot of people enjoyed. So there you go. That's what came out this week. And into the news. So as I mentioned off the top, we have a brand new Andor trailer. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking at all about this because we just spent a whole hour last week giving our official preview for season 2. But the first thing I want to talk about, Ben, is what everybody else was probably talking about is what's happening with Dedra Meero? Does she need like a Heimlich maneuver? Is she choking on something? Or is she being force choked by Darth Vader? What's happening there?
Yeah, so this is a tough interpretation here because you have all the chatter from Gilroy talking about fan service. Fan service is used, it's used well, etc. Whatever. It's for a purpose, and then they immediately turn around and give us a trailer where you have a few options because in normal circumstances, I'd be super hyped because when you watch this blindfolded or in a vacuum, it looks like she's getting force choked potentially. And to me, if she is, I mean, that's incredible. And it's great. Like they're leaning into it. Like they're leaning into, again, some of the critiques from people like me that I had with the first season where it was like, okay, what are we doing here? And putting a Vader in potentially for her, like maybe failing or something or another. Who knows? Maybe that's where you have Cyril step up and I don't know, somehow backtalk Vader. I don't know, but I think you could have a potential force choke moment there, or I don't like to put the negative on this, or it could just be a classic Disney editing. Maybe there's an airlock and she's just gasping for life or something. So maybe it's just that, but if I want to take the positive route, I'll say it's potentially Vader. Or hey, maybe go out on a limb, Chris. Instead of Vader, what if it's an Inquisitor inflicting some sort of punishment for Vader, in representation of him?
Oh man, yeah. We are still in that timeline where Rebels exists concurrently. There's a 7th sister, there's a 5th brother running around, the 10th brother, Grand Inquisitor. Hey, wouldn't that be something to see Rupert Friend just jumping in out of nowhere? Everybody's favorite Uda Palin with a strange head. So I can see that. But I don't know. I'm seeing this as he's playing coy with us. He's having a good time with the fans, saying, "Oh yeah, let's put this shot in there. Everybody's gonna think it's some force sensitive choking her." I think something else is happening. People are often saying online right now, "Oh, she's having an anxiety attack. She's in over her head. She's doomed. She's finding out that she's doomed somehow, and there's no way out. So what's she gonna do?" So yeah, very again, Dedra Meero is such a strong character in this show. I really dig the perspective that we're getting. That's what's so beautiful about this show, man, because you think it's just about the rebellion, but you get the other side. You get to see the whole ladder, the whole hierarchy of the ISB and what happens with these guys. Similar to Game of Thrones. You get all these different perspectives from all around Westeros. We're getting the same thing from perspectives all around the galaxy, which is why this is just such a strong outing for me when it comes to season 1.
Oh, for sure. I think the thing with this trailer, it just has to be said, this should have been the first trailer for this season of the show, because to me, this is a proper trailer. it got me excited for the show, which is saying a lot. And I'm genuinely excited for the show. Like, even though I have my feelings about the first season, I think like this trailer did its job. It got me, a skeptic of the first season on board with the second season of the show, and I'm genuinely excited. Not even the hypothetical of the force choke. Like, the rest of the trailer was very good. It had a good tone to it, good action sequences and things. Like, I think, and it just like really set like in motion where the story was going and things. And I just feel like what they should have done was have this trailer first, and then the other trailer be more your generic marketing trailer in the build up after the main big trailer. I think that's what they should have done. But yeah, for me, I think it was really good stuff.
Yeah, what I like about this trailer a lot, and I picked this up on the second time I watched it right before we hit live today, is the idea that it's got that siren. Dude, it's the same Rogue One freaking thing that was with the Rogue One teaser trailer, I think. And it just, something about that klaxon going off in the background just gives me like that kind of like intensity feeling. Oh my gosh, it's all building up. We're hitting the boiling point. And they keep talking in this trailer about this battle. And Andor's talking to Luthen about the importance of what is about to happen. And I'm going, I can't wait to see what they're plotting. What is this battle? Because Battle of Scarif is really like that first big battle. So what is this little skirmish, like little mission that they're doing that is so vital to everything? We get to see Brasso and BTEMO. I keep thinking that's got to be Dantooine with the way it looks just like it does in KOTOR with that like tannish grass, and then there's like an Imperial ship that comes in. It's like, oh crap, we are screwed. Like, what's gonna happen? All these really great tense moments in that trailer. Did you check this one out at all, Milton?
No, I actually didn't see it yet. I'm actually very excited with how you guys are talking about it, because the first trailer didn't really do it to me too much. However, I mean, I'm still excited for the show, but from how you guys are talking about it, it sounds like I'm going to be impressed with this trailer. And I think that the sound you're talking about, that's the same sound that they use. I think they use it in the actual movie of Rogue One, if I'm thinking about it, where it's like that build-up sound. I think, God, it is. So yeah, I always like that because that does hype up the intensity and it makes you feel like something's going to happen. So once the podcast is over, I will watch it and I will give you guys my official review on it. But from what it sounds like it's did its job to his work.
Oh yeah, I think my prediction for that, I think you'll like it, Milton. Like, you know, kind of my take. Like, Andor season 1 doesn't really feel a lot like Star Wars. Well, I can definitely say, if it gives you an idea, Milton, like, to me, this feels like a Star Wars trailer, if that makes sense,
That's saying a lot coming from you, man.
Yeah.
So, hey, guess what? The next time we're going to record on this podcast, because as I'll say at the end, we are having a little bit of a hiatus for reasons, as you could probably expect. But next time we're back, guys, we're talking about the very episodes. There's no more speculation, no more theorizing. We're going to be in the thick of it with Andor season come the end of April. So really, really pleased and really excited to just dive into like this cinematic just masterpiece that this is looking like already. So, and I'm keeping my optimism high. I know my expectations are high, but I can't help it. Let's just hope it somehow exceeds the already high expectations somehow. But I trust that Tony Gilroy and team are up for the challenge there. So, time for the main event, everybody. Star Wars Celebration Japan. That's probably why you clicked on this video. Click to play the audio track here, because we are imminently, as of recording this, we are just about like 2.5 weeks away from Celebration, pretty much at this point. We haven't had a celebration since 2023 in London. So there's been a lot of stuff, I'm sure, that, Lucasfilm has been kind of holding on to. I mean, obviously animation, right? There's been no talk of what is happening after Bad Batch. We can assume that there's probably another Tales thing. We can assume, well, we already know that there's more Visions, but what else could be on the horizon? Well, we're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into the main event panels. I'm going to talk a little bit about the exhibitors, about the exclusive items you can get. here at Celebration. But something that ties into Celebration right off the bat, I do want to mention this. We have a new, I don't even know if I could call this a game because they don't even call it a game, but StarWars.com did reveal another VR experience coming to MetaQuest 3. Unfortunately, I only have a MetaQuest 2, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this thing. But we have Star Wars Beyond Victory that has been announced. You have the concept art there of it looks like a new alien. It's a 4-armed alien, and you have Sebulba there. Yes, Sebulba from Episode 1 to Phantom Menace makes his triumphant return because this is set somewhere around the time of Solo Star Wars story. It features an electrifying story and variety of unique modes for players to enjoy. So this is basically a kind of like, I guess, like a playground sandbox kind of game where you're just going to be able to run around and do Star Wars stuff. It's very vague, guys. I wish I could give you more information on what the heck this thing actually is. But interesting enough for me and Matthew over on Tractor Beam is they are having a tie-in comic called Beyond Victory that they're giving out at Celebration. And for some reason, this is where it grinds my gears, guys, because they're saying this is an exclusive comic that you can only get at Celebration. So it's like, what? Like, this is crazy. How are you gonna have just one comic available, like 10,000 people or whoever's going to be there? That seems kind of bogus to me. Maybe it'll be collected in a trade paperback in the future of some other comics, but it's interesting. Again, I can't really say much about this. I mean, what I will say is it's like the same team that worked on Tales of Batu or whatever it is. I've totally lost my memory of what that other game was called. Tales from Galaxy's Edge or something like that. Whatever. There was the other one that was on MetaQuest 2. That was a lot of fun. It was set during the time of the sequel trilogy there on Black Spire Outpost. And then before that, they had Vader. They had, not Vader Down, that's a comic book. See, these comic book things are intertwining now. Vader Immortal. Thank you very much, Ben. Where you actually like go to Vader's castle on Mustafar, and there's cool stuff intertwined with lore about Padme and Vader trying to resurrect Padme. It was actually a very, very good story, and it's really fun to play. So long and short of this is, why I'm mentioning this is going to be playable at the MetaQuest booth at Star Wars Celebration Japan. I think there's somewhere in this article saying that there's like 12 stations you could play it at or something. So I'll see if I could take a crack at it. I definitely want to try to get my way in there just so I can get the darn comic because I'm crazy like that. But we'll see how it goes. I'm sure I'll be able to report back on if I'm successful at getting this to play this thing or not. Because like I said, like I have a MetaQuest 2 that has been collecting dust for years now. That might be a good reason for me to visit my sister and be like, hey, brother-in-law, can I borrow your Quest 3 for 3 hours? So that is what we got going on there. This is fun because like Star Wars Celebration should have interactive things. In Celebration Anaheim, this is probably going to be bad memories for people. I got to play Star Wars Hunters, the now doomed Star Wars Hunters, and that was a fun experience. You know, it was good. I like, and I think the year before that in Chicago, they had a quest booth to allow you to play Vader Immortal. So it's, you know, this is the norm for Star Wars and gaming is they have some kind of cool experience like this there. I don't know if you guys have you guys ever tried out VR at all, or?
I've never.
Oh, you never have?
No,
you should try it. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. I mean,
No.
I know some people can get motion sickness, but, you know.
Yeah, the only VR experience I've ever had was, I mean, it wasn't gaming. It was, I was at a cousin of mine's, and they had a couple of them. I don't know what the model was or anything like that. But it was one where you could like watch like Netflix on it, and like when you like put them on and stuff, it looks kind of like almost like when you look around inside of it, it looks kind of like it's like almost like a movie theater layout or something. It's like I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the model or anything, whatever that was, but it was really cool because it was like, you know, it was just like I said, it was kind of like a theater. But for me, for someone who gets motion sickness, like I can only handle so much of something like that before it's like, whoa, okay, like I got to take a break from this.
Yeah, you definitely have to play. Like, there are certain games I was playing, like Half-Life Alyx on Oculus, that was just so hyper real, and
Mm-hmm.
I had the ability to like move with my joystick, so it created this like uncanny valley, like weird, like walking but not really walking thing. So after like 30
Mm-hmm.
minutes, I would have to take breaks because I would start to get like a little nauseous and stuff. It was weird, but I mean, the tech has improved, the development on these things has improved. So like a lot of this stuff that used to make people kind of uncomfortable has actually been ironed out with like the different the framework and the like the FPS and stuff that they've been adjusting on the headsets themselves. So there you go. That's just one thing happening at Celebration. Now getting into many other things. I think we'll just go right to the exhibitors, which I did not link in our notes. My bad for that. But I think that the main things I'm going to want to mention here is Bandai Namco. I mean, Bandai makes really
Yep.
good statues, and they're probably like right there. I would imagine I think they're a Japanese company, pretty sure. So you have them. You have Citizen Watches. You have, of course, a Disney store. Now, EFX collectibles are really good. They're often at New York Comic Con every year. They have like these are like the $1,000+ replica Falcons that are like miniature size and like the real helmets, and they're crazy. I know a lot of people like Fig Pin are going to be there. This is the funny one. Gap. Yeah, the Gap. Yeah, the clothing store from every mall back in the 90s. I don't know what the heck Gap is going to have there, but I'm going to have to check out that booth.
I mean, who knows? They might bring, they know our generation is big on nostalgia, so maybe they bring back a '90s styled nostalgic shirt or something.
Yeah, because actually I have
Good
this
point.
old. Go ahead, Milton.
No, that's a good point. What Ben just said.
Yeah, I will definitely say that I have this shirt that I dug out of the closet that was literally from 2002. Attack of the Clones, Jango Fett, Slave One, Asteroid Field. It was like that giant print. It's like that classic like early 2000s like baggy shirt, like just gigantic artwork on it. I'm like, yeah, actually, if they start pulling stuff off like that, I'll have to buy it. Hasbro. Now Hasbro, oh man, the Hasbro booth is going to be on fire because they are releasing at Celebration a Ronin and whatever the droid's name is from Vision Season 1, the dual short. They're making a Black Series figure, special edition, black and white background. Like the figures themselves are black and white, which is so freaking cool. So you got that. What I'm really excited for is Hot Toys. The Hot Toys booth was at Anaheim. I don't think it was at Celebration London, but Hot Toys always have a gigantic crowd. I mean, these are like the $400 to $600 range, like hyper real. They have the hair, the wrinkles, everything, and they're like the 1/6 size figures that are they're actual posable. As opposed to the sideshow collectibles, which are more just statues. So, Hot Toys, I think they already announced that there was going to be a life-size Grogu they could buy at the show. There's also going to be a Galen Urso. Galen Urso. That's exclusive, and it's somebody else. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. You can check out these websites. Jazzwares is going to have a Visions X-Wing fighter miniature micro machine thing with one of the people from the Twins, which I know Milton would probably buy.
Yeah.
Not my favorite one. I definitely want to get my hands on the dual one from the Hasbro booth, but still looks pretty cool. Yeah, and then like I said, Rancho Obi-Wan. Rancho Obi-Wan is a museum out there in I guess
California.
like wine country,
Yep.
California.
Yep.
And
That's like the
yeah.
biggest like Star Wars like museum of all. Like I think that's like the greatest like Star
Yep.
Wars collection of all time.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and it's so cool because every time Steve Sansweet, the CEO of Rancho Obi-Wan, like I'm pretty sure he wasn't at London, but he was at Anaheim, and every time he does show up with like his stuff, he like curates it to have specific themes. So that year it was all about Boba Fett. So they had nothing but Boba Fett figures everywhere. It was so awesome. So I'm very curious to see kind of what he's going to be carting over. And I got to give him props. I mean, going from California all the way to Japan with all that memorabilia is not going to be cheap.
Facts.
Oh man, he also got results. Or I call it results. I always mess up their name. Roosevelt, the Roosevelts. It's RSVLTS. Those guys got great shirts. They have like the really nice like going out buttoned up shirts that are like very classy, but they always have Star Wars elements or any other like pop culture element. So at San Diego Comic-Con, they had like an exclusive every day, and I got the one on Thursday, which is Jar Jar Binks in the Phantom Menace, like at the Battle of Theed. It's a green shirt, and there's like maybe 10 different little miniature versions of scenes from that movie. So like for instance, there's ones of him hanging from the AT-AT or AAT, and then him like throwing like the freaking like orbs at the droids. It's a great shirt. But they have great fashion. If you guys are like want something a little bit higher end, something to go out with at night on the weekends, and definitely check them out. Of course, Lego's going to be there. Topps Cards is going to be there, and that's basically the main thing. So, really good turnout, I would say. Really good turnout. Of course, you're going to have Milton. You're going to have like your more local comic book stores and stuff that are going to sell their wares. So I'm looking forward to checking out like the local like shops that are all from Japan, selling like their own unique type of figures and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating. I think that's always a nice thing about these conventions. You just get to see an opportunity to see, obviously, the different culture, but what different, fresh ideas people are able to present when it comes to Star Wars or any IP that's being presented at a convention.
Yep. And getting into the things that everybody at home definitely wants to know about is what's happening. What could be revealed? What sort of schedule are we looking at? Well, it's great that you asked, because the Star Wars Celebration live stage, to nobody's surprise, is back. And it's going to be especially useful to know the timetables, because at least on the East Coast, I believe we will be 13 hours behind the live stream. So most of the stuff is happening, like, for instance, the Mandalorian, I'm going to go through the schedule right now. The Mandalorian and Grogu panel is at 10 a.m. Japan time. So I believe that'll be prime time, nighttime there at 9 p.m. I believe my calculations are correct. 9 p.m. on the East Coast to watch that live stream. So if you guys are unfamiliar with how these things are done, like the YouTube channel just is like on all night, basically. The YouTube channel is going to be on all night. So good thing for you guys, it's the weekend. So, you get to stay up late and watch all this cool content coming in. So with these panels is they will show. Now, Ben, you are watching the one in London, if I'm correct, yeah?
Yeah.
Did they show like most of the Lucasfilm like showcase panel, or did they not show any of it online?
All right, so I believe, if I remember correctly, I think it was London where they did this. It was like they showed some of the big things, like I remember, like, they showed when like, for example, like when Lars came out on stage and like did his talk and whatever. Like they did things like that, but some of the panels, what they did was they like cut to like a side panel where it was like a host. It was just like a dude, and whoever. It might have been the host when Andy Gutierrez was there. It might have been
Anthony
her,
Carboni.
and then it was another guy, and they were just like talking about what was going on the panels on some of the different panels. So it was kind of like scattered all over. So it was like maybe a little more exclusive. But I feel like with them, like really, like with this being like a totally different time zone and thing, like I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have to like really publicize it, especially because of Star Wars coming back to theaters next year. Like that. I mean, look, you hit it off right there with Mando and Grogu, and shout out to Erin Daly because she mentioned like she's hoping to see a little preview for that movie, and I think that's going to be what they lean into on this with this event, is like they have to get people hyped about Mando and Grogu and getting Star Wars back onto the big screen.
Yeah. So the description, and there's so many panels, and there's the fan panels. And
Yep.
I'm not necessarily talking about fan panels tonight, but as somebody that literally moderated a fan panel and looking at the fan panels for this one, definitely go check one out. Like if you, for whatever reason, you can't get into one of the main panels, you're already planning on going to a panel at that time anyway. So just go check out one of the fan panels on the HoloNet news stage, on the fan page, the fan stage. Like there's so many different places you can go. To see stuff like like the Jedi series or Ahsoka panels or panels on Akira Kurosawa. There's some really awesome panels this year that are dedicated to Star Wars intertwined with Japanese culture. So definitely go out of your way if you can to check them out, because you get to hear from the locals of like the influences and all that. Obviously, George Lucas was influenced by with all of the culture and everything in the country. So that's what's really nice about this year is we get to see all that kind of intertwined. But going into the Mandalorian and Grogu specific, we have joined Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and special guests for a sneak peek at what's to come for the Mandalorian and Grogu on their biggest adventure yet, this time on the big screen and in theaters in 2026. Do we think we're going to get a trailer? We're kind of far out. That's my only thing. Like it's over a year out.
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I guess my thing is, well, Milton, I guess you got to be ready Thursday or that night in case I might have to like drop in the group chat and be like, "Yo, Milton, check this out before it's taken down," because maybe, if they don't show it publicly, I bet there's going to be a leaked version of it.
I mean, like, when's that movie coming out? Like, it should be
in May of
literally
next
almost
year.
1 calendar year away, Milton. May 2026.
I mean, hell, they showed, when did they show like Superman and all that? It was like 6 months ago or something. Like, you would think, why would you be cagey about it? Just give it to us. We've been waiting for that for a while. Really.
And the fact that they already released like a lot of footage for other people at other conventions like a year ago. So they've been done filming. They're probably like done editing at this point almost. So it's like, okay, they can literally show like good quality, like put together, maybe even show like a scene and then like a mini trailer maybe they'll show like a scene to the audience and then that only they see, and then the trailer goes out to everybody around the world. I could see that happening. So.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I could see something like that.
Yep. So then over on the Twin Suns stage from 11:30 to 12:30, we have the Hasbro Star Wars panel. Definitely not as entertaining, and I'll say this every time, definitely not as entertaining as the OG Hasbro Star Wars panels back in New York Comic Con in the day when they used to have Q&As, because I doubt they're going to have Q&As with this ever since the uproar of the fans, and they're just they're not happy with the line or something. They don't want to hear that flack, but something I'm probably going to be going to right after that at 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. on the Galaxy stage. So they got the big stage here. So the Twin Suns is like the third largest, then it's a Galaxy stage, then the Celebration stage is like the main stage. So over on the Galaxy stage from 12 to 1 o'clock, we have Lucasfilm Publishing Manga Mania. So everything manga, which is really cool because they've, obviously they're in Japan. That's what's really tuned in for that. This is the hard part, guys, where I have to start choosing what I want to go to. All right. It's Star Wars everything. So obviously it's hard for me. Star Wars Visions, The Duel in the Pit is going to be screened with a Q&A from the creators themselves. So that is really freaking cool. Part of me thinks like I kind of want to go to this. Because where else am I ever going to go see the creators in Japan talking about Japanese Star Wars animation or anime? So this is where it's tough, but I'm also obligated as a member of a Star Wars comics podcast to review and talk about the manga that's coming out. So this is where I need to be able to clone myself or something. I might have to send my girlfriend to do some reconnaissance at one of the panels when I go to the other one or something. I don't know. Oh,
hey, there you go.
Actually, she probably would want to go to the Visions one. She really likes the duel, so we'll see what happens there. Next one. This is interesting because this is almost kind of Ben. This is almost kind of like an announcement, kind of like how Tales of the Jedi was an announcement as a panel before it was officially announced from Lucasfilm. Apparently, we're getting more episodes for the documentary, which I really enjoyed, Light and Magic, that came out like 2 years ago. Because Light and Magic on the Celebration stage from 1 to 2 p.m. This one's join us for a deep dive into Light and Magic, the critically acclaimed documentary series chronicling the legendary journey of Industrial Light and Magic. I looked more into this. I think Collider put up an official blurb about Joe Johnston is doing 3 more episodes for this thing. I know it was Lawrence Kasdan that was spearheading the whole thing for the original run of like 6 episodes, but I really enjoyed. I think all of us actually watched these, right? Because they have really cool stuff
Yeah.
about the special effects.
No, we like that documentary. It was really good.
So
Yeah,
there
it
you
makes me
go.
wonder what they're gonna add to it.
Oh, I know. It's all about the prequels, dude. They're gonna be
Oh, yeah.
diving in. I think everything from Jurassic Park later. No, they did talk about Jurassic Park already. Yeah, I think it's basically no, it's gonna be Marvel and the prequels. I think like Iron Man, like early Marvel and stuff.
Well, especially with Revenge of the Sith this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Moving right along on the Galaxy stage at 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we have Lucasfilm publishing stories from a galaxy far, far away. Join us in Japan for the latest publishing news from the prequel trilogy to the sequel trilogy and beyond, including news on the grand finale of The High Republic with Adam Christopher, Tessa Gratton, Mark Guggenheim, Lydia Kang, Ethan Sachs, Phil Shostak, Alyssa Wong, and Marvel's C.B. Sapolsky. So very, very recently, it's been floating around on all the social networks where people talk about the books, is we have Penguin Random House that put out a they do this like placeholder thing where they like put a name out for a Star Wars book that hasn't even been announced yet. And they did that for a new book that's going to be coming out, I think, in October of this year called Star Wars Master of Evil. So this one will probably be a book that you and Milton and Ben will want to read, because when I hear that name, I instantly go to like Darth Vader. Maybe we're getting like a Darth Vader book. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Master of
Vader.
Evil, Darth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how they're going to, like, if they do something like that. Are they going to do it like from his perspective, like a point, like what's it, point of view books like they've done? I'd be curious to see what that would look like.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it probably is now that you say that.
And
especially because of the line.
yeah, and then Adam Christopher, who happened to be on my panel from London back in the day, he is not writing anything, and he's listed as being a part of this panel. So if I were a betting man, I would say that he's going to be writing the story, and it's right in his wheelhouse, because the last time he wrote a Star Wars book, it was something I really enjoyed, and it was my favorite Star Wars book of that year, and that was Shadow of the Sith, the adventure story between Lando and Luke Skywalker, and between...
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. So he's good with writing like dark side characters and whatnot, because he was writing a lot about Ochi of Bestoon and like the cultists on Exegol and all the cool stuff like that with the son of Palpatine and all that kind of thing. So looking forward to that one. I'm definitely going to be in the room for that one. This is where things really start getting spicy. Well, actually, what's this one? I didn't even read that. Telling stories across culture, Star Wars in Japan, the connections between Star Wars and Japan go back to the creation of the movie saga itself. This in-depth panel explores how the storytelling, history, and art and popular of Japan has influenced Star Wars for nearly 50 years. That would be one really cool to see, but I'll be at the publishing panel. But one thing that might be the breakout information for the entire weekend will be at 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. live on the Celebration stage, and also streamed to the Galaxy stage. This one is Lucasfilm's Animation's 20th anniversary. Join Dave Filoni and Athena Portillo as we celebrate 20 years of Lucasfilm Animation's critically acclaimed stories and beloved characters, including a sneak peek at what's to come. So there we go. I talked about it earlier. Where the heck is the next animation thing coming out? We know we have a couple things in the pipe, but I think we're about to get something massive announced at this. Don't you? Either of you guys think this?
I think we're going to get I think our next Tales of the Jedi series or something.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah.
Or go ahead, Milton.
No, but I say we have to get that because that show's really, really good, and we haven't heard anything yet about any Tales of the Jedi or Sith or anything like that. We need something like that. Last one was so good.
Yeah, I would say I completely agree with you. The Tales series I think is very, very good. It's good quality, and I think it's good quality because it's just short form story. It's real tight knit storytelling.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I think my prediction though, if I had to predict for this, it's kind of chalk and I don't know. I guess it's just kind of taking the chalk easy pick, but I think if I had to guess, I think we might get a Tales of the Clones.
Oh,
And the only reason I say that is just because we didn't really see Cody's resolution from this last season of Bad Batch. We don't know where these other people go that we were with the Bad Batch, but also D. Bradley Baker said in an interview like 6 or 8 months ago, it was like last summer, that there were more stories to tell for the clones down the road after the show, after Bad Batch ended. So to me, maybe they do like a 6 episode, one clone apiece type thing, or something like a Tales of the Clone Troopers, and we find out where all these guys end up, because now in the Bad Batch timeline anyways, we're pretty much getting close to the original trilogy.
yeah. I'll do one better, Ben. I'll do one better. What I want to see them do is go back to the roots of Lucasfilm Animation and do a Clone Wars like anthology series in the original trilogy era. So you could have your
Ooh.
4 episode arc of Cody and what he's doing. You could have your 4 episode arc of Omega joining the Rebellion. You could have your 4 episode arc of Asajj Ventress with Quinlan Voss exploring the hidden path. I mean, this seems like such a easy to, well, not easy to execute. It's gonna be hard, but like it seems like such a good idea. Like that they already have a framework for a successful show that's gone on for 7 seasons using that sort of thing. So why not just do it to flesh out more of the original trilogy? Or it worked out well the first time.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is, if we would go along that route, I feel like, Milton, you might like something like that, because think about it, like, what if they do something like that, like Chris is saying, like maybe we get more of an expansive in the OT type animation show, and then they could always add in your guest appearances from the bigger OT characters, because think like when we got Darth Maul teased. Darth Maul was teased at the end of one season, and we didn't see him for a full season later, and then boom, he finally appears. Like, maybe we get like, other big characters popping in, like more, things like along those lines. So, like, I don't know, I think something like that could potentially interest you, Milton, if they did go that route.
Yeah, without a question. I mean, I've always clamored that we needed. I know you mentioned original trilogy characters. I've always felt we needed like a Luke animation show.
Yeah.
Just because there's still a lot of unanswered questions with Luke in his 30 years of being away. Yes, we've gotten some glimpses of it in Mandalorian. We've gotten some glimpses of it in some of the early comics back in 2014, 2015 during the time. Yep. But we still haven't really fleshed out that time. So I think that'd be a great medium to utilize animation to tell those stories of what Luke was doing. I think he's still a beloved character. No one really gets tired of him. That'd be an opportunity, and I think to strengthen the sequel trilogy by giving us a series that talked about Luke's struggles, well, his rise of becoming a Grand Master Jedi, but eventually his fall of what he became in the sequel. So I think that would be what I would want for sure. Obviously, talk about the creation of the New Republic and obviously the rise of the First Order.
Yeah, that's what I really want. I just feel like they're going to pivot more toward original trilogy only because Omega was teased in that post scene. Why the heck was Asajj there? And they literally commented on it in StarWars.com saying, oh, they're saving her for another story after this. It's like, that's why I'm like, I really want that Luke thing, but I just feel like we're not quite there yet, unfortunately. But Chris, going back, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to throw in there real quick. I just thought of something. And here's a quick question. You mentioning Asajj and what she's doing, could we get an interaction with her? Like, say if this is a thing with her and Quinlan, like if their part would take place like briefly before A New Hope, like maybe we get an interaction with her and Kenobi because he knows about the path. Like,
Yep.
maybe you get that reunion of Azaj and Obi-Wan after like 20 years or whatever it is.
Yeah, and don't forget about Sarah Junda and Cal Kestis from the Jedi
Yep.
series, because oh crap, Milton hasn't gotten there yet. I won't say anymore.
Oh,
I
yeah.
won't say anymore.
It's all good.
But what I was gonna say too is this is a celebration of 20 years of amazing animation that George Lucas and Dave Filoni spearheaded. I think there's actually like four potential things that could get announced entirely. So we talked about Tales. I think it's highly likely that they'll announce Tales and whatever this ongoing Star Wars animated feature is. But I mean, there's usually a Lego panel. There is no Lego panel, and they're very consistent with Lego specials. So I could also see them like having the Lego guys come on the stage and going, "Oh, we're gonna have season 2 of Rebuild the Galaxy," because I really enjoyed that, and it did leave it off to have more episodes with like Mando Grogu with Lando at the end, or Lando Lorian or something like that. So I can see them doing that, and season 2 of the Young Jedi Adventures came out, so I could see them also going, "Hey, we're gonna have season 3." Yeah, it's not what everybody's clamoring for, but this is animation with Lucasfilm, so I think we could also loop some other projects that are kind of like ancillary in a way as well. So, but you know, let's hope the big announcement is not just Jedi season 3. Oh my gosh, the room would just implode if that's all they announced.
You never know.
Yeah, so rushing through to the end of this. This is Celebration, guys. There's always so much stuff to talk about. All right, so Saturday, I'm going to go over the highlights here. Saturday, there is an Andor there's an Andor panel at 10 a.m. Join creator and executive producer Tony Gilroy, executive producer Diego Luna, and cast for a sneak peek at the final season of Andor. I wouldn't be surprised if they did this like they did in Anaheim and London, where anybody who's watching it in the room itself says, "Oh, there's a ticket under your seat. Use that to get," or a wristband. Use that to get back in to the con at 6 p.m. to watch the first 3 episodes. I mean, it's a softball. Why would they be waiting to show the episode 3 days later when they have an entire gathering of Star Wars fans in one location? It's a given. So expect that. So maybe like stay off the internet, or they might do something, Ben. They might just decide to drop all 3 episodes like they did Obi-Wan for the fans around the world.
Obi-Wan did that. So
they're like, "Hey, we get 5 minutes. We get like the 5-minute exclusive thing where like, I've seen the episode," and then it's like, "Oh wait, it's on Disney Plus. Okay, cool. Everybody watches it now."
Yep.
So for you guys, if that panel is at, if that panel's at, they're gonna drop the episode like morning time. Probably you guys will wake up on like Saturday morning and be like, "Oh my god, 3 episodes of Andor to watch with cereal." To represent Cereal Karn eating cereal. I don't know.
Yeah, Milton will be throwing the box of cereal if that's the case.
Oh man,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I was like, nope, I'm done.
All right. We also have an Ahsoka panel from 1 to 2 p.m. also on Saturday. And now that it seems they're filming something, I don't think we're going to get anything substantial, but I think what could be fun is like they'll have a couple cast members zooming in from wherever the set is and be like, "Hey, we're here in UK filming scenes, and here's our new cast member for Baylan Skoll," and have what's his name showing up on the camera or something, or who could even be there too, the guy that played the Hound. Oh my gosh, Rory McCann. Rory McCann, I believe is his name. So
yeah, I'm interested to see. I think they're gonna drop something like that, maybe like a little sneak peek sizzle reel, like behind the scenes, like you said, Chris. It's probably gonna be a little, "Hey, we're filming, yada yada." I mean, look, even the guy that plays Ezra currently. I mean, his little thing he leaked when he was just on Instagram Live with one of his buddies, and the interesting thing out of that leak, I know this isn't a leak, a full news episode, but the interesting tidbit that came out of that live was when he was talking with his friend, like he was making it sound like there's gonna be a lot of focus on Ezra in the second season. The way it sounded. So just like, I don't know. And then he like cut his friend off on Instagram, but you know, for the short time they were on there, that was something that came through.
Well, there you go. I know Milton will want to see a panel like this. It's Doug Chang's masterclass working in the Star Wars art department. Doug Chang will hold an in-depth conversation about Star Wars art department, working on the film industry. He's also doing a skeleton crew panel. It's not confirmed that the kids will be on that panel, but I know the girl that plays KB is actually going to be around Celebration because one of these fan events is happening and she's going to be there doing autographs. So I wouldn't be surprised if they turn that into like an ad hoc, like kind of celebration of Skeleton Crew season 1 or something. Because speaking of that panel is on Friday, but going back to Saturday, we have a conversation with Oscar Isaac, and this is as close as we're going to get to like the 10th anniversary celebration of Force Awakens. I guess they can't get Daisy or they can't get John Boyega there, so we're just going to have like a one-on-one, kind of like the Hayden Christensen thing that's happening at Steel City Con. With that there. And a big one for me here at the end of Saturday is we're going to have a Bit Reactor panel featuring Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm Games. This is 4:30 to 5:30 on the Galaxy stage. Join Bit Reactor along with Respawn Entertainment and Lucasfilm Games for a look at a new Star Wars turn-based tactics game. So, yeah, I'm super hyped for that. I love turn-based tactic games. I just finished dumping a whole bunch of time into that Marvel Midnight Suns game, which is the same sort of developers that used to work on that, I think, are working on this. So looking forward to that. Jetting along here for the final day, Sunday, April 20th. First look at Star Wars Visions Volume 3, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Live on the Celebration stage. Stream to the Galaxy and Twin Suns stage. Celebrate the first 2 volumes of Star Wars Visions and animated anthologies. Anticipate a return to anime. Hear from new and returning studios as they share a sneak peek at their Volume 3 shorts. We have a Disney. We also on Sunday have a Disney Imagineering panel. We also have a Fett Family, which is a fun one to be at. Tamora Morrison and Daniel Logan are going to be just like shooting the crap, just talking on stage for an hour. And I've seen that happen for the Attack of the Clones celebration panel. They basically took over the whole panel, guys. Like, I think Ewan and Hayden were also there, and Anthony Daniels. And at one point, it just became like the Tamora Morrison and Daniel Logan show, because those guys are hilarious. They don't even need a moderator. They could just talk and just do funny ass things the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And
oh yeah, they're always great when they're on camera.
Yeah, and then we have the Celebration Japan closing ceremony. That's where they're going to hopefully, it's not guaranteed, but hopefully tell us where and when the next celebration is. That's usually when they do it. And that about wraps up Star Wars Celebration. So even though it's only 3 days, there's a lot to see, a lot to do. And you're not going to be able to see and do everything. So that's why it's nice having it filmed live, because I always like to go home. And over the next couple weeks after it ends, I just casually watch what I didn't get to see. So hopefully the next one is in the United States, so all 3 of us can kind of convene on that convention wherever it is and have a good old time and celebrate Star Wars. But yeah, it should be a good weekend. I'll just throw it to each one of us. Pick one thing, and just one thing only, that you hope gets revealed at this celebration in Japan. I'll start off by throwing it to Ben.
For me, I guess it could be considered multifaceted, but give me the Marvel-esque layout plan and just commit to a slate of movies. That's what I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need any of the details. Just give me the. Actually, I do need the titles, but give me at least rough titles for a slate of movies on a big screen. They don't have to have anybody explain anything. Just have like Dave come out and say, "Hey, this is what's coming, guys." That's it. Don't elaborate. Just leave it at that.
Yep, that's interesting that you bring that up, right? Because there's a couple voids, right? First of all,
Yep.
there is no celebration for the Revenge of the Sith at 20, which everybody's up in arms about. If there's that one thing you'll see in the forums and comment sections, where is the Revenge of the Sith panel? Where is it? Because they had one for Return of the Jedi, they had one for Attack of the Clones. So I don't know. It's odd. I guess because they can't get you in there, that it's almost not worth doing if they can't have both Ewan and Hayden there. It is in Japan, so it's a lot harder to get to than just being in UK or in United States, where it's easier to navigate. But yeah, that's a lost opportunity, a missed opportunity in my eyes. But we'll get over it. We'll get over it. Maybe at 30 years they'll have an anniversary or something. But yeah, as far as the movie announcements, where can they make it? Because there's no showcase. So my assumption is the Mandalorian Grogu panel. I wouldn't be surprised if like Kathleen Kennedy is like moderating the panel, and at the end she saves like 5 minutes and just blows through like a quick newsreel of like, oh, we also have so and so's movie that's coming out the year after in 2027, and then blah blah blah. So I could see them like somebody rattling off a couple things at the end of the Mando and Grogu panel for sure, because I still find it so odd that we live in a time when StarWars.com has not officially announced the movie that's going to have the Deadpool Sean Levy's guy. She confirmed in an interview,
filming this fall,
but we don't have a title. We don't even have that thing officially announced by StarWars.com. So if there's anything, I think that they'll at least mention that, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully so. I think also another panel to keep an eye out for is the Oscar Isaac one. Just see if he slips up at all on any like little thing about him returning for projects, or you know what I mean. Just like keep an eye out for any slip ups from like sequel era actors.
No, I don't think he could slip up. I think he might be able to get permission to be like, yes, I will be in Daisy Ridley's movie returning as Poe or something. Just like a quick like news buzz little thing, just to be announced there. So, stuff like that can happen. Pretty cool. So what about you, Milton? What are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to animation, movies, TV, live action? What are you most hyped for, like, getting announced, maybe?
Yeah. Just to piggyback off of what Ben just said, I totally am in agreement with that. Stick to a plan, let us know, commit to it. Man, I'm trying to think of what I really liked back in the past when they used to do these like live streams. I mean, like I love the panels where they bring back the old cast and they talk about their experiences. So I really enjoy those. As for an announcement, oh man, I just want something that's Luke focused. Like I need something that's Luke focused. I wish we get that. That's my hope. Is that Mark Hamill is somehow still involved in Star Wars, and they're going to do like a swan song to the Luke Skywalker character.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I would love that. Really, really good stuff there. As for me, well, there's a video game panel, so that's my default answer. I'm always there for the games more than anything else. I remember my pure excitement going back to my first celebration was the last time we had a proper video game panel, and that was for the reveal of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And I remember I couldn't shut up about that game all weekend long. I was just like telling everybody, hey, did you see the Jedi Fallen Order trailer? I was like a blubbering idiot because I was going on podcasts and I was like, yeah, that was it. That's the game. And yeah, somehow exceeded my expectations, even for my first watch. So really excited because Respawn is also integrated with this next game. And as me and Ben often talk, like they are the consistent studio that is putting out just quality every time with their games. So very, very pleased for that. But yeah, there you go. That was the rundown. You can check out Star Wars Celebration's webpage for everything, including the fan panels, which I highly encourage you to check out as well. The cool merch. I know they have pin trading and all that sort of thing. And not even everything has been announced yet. They haven't even announced the show store exclusives, which are really fun. They always have these like really niche, like different items that are, you know, integrated with that culture that this celebration is in. So looking forward to seeing some cool Japanese tea sets and maybe some katanas. I don't know. No, they're not going to sell Star Wars katanas, although that would be awesome. But there you go. Let us know what you're looking forward to for Star Wars Celebration. But yeah, the next time we will be doing this show, we'll be talking about Andor, and I'll be dropping some stories about Celebration because, man, we're going to have to somehow manage to talk about 3 episodes every week when we return. So yes, speaking of when we return, we will be returning on Sunday, April 27th for our next episode of the podcast. So Milton and I will be busy next weekend and a couple weekends from there as well. So awesome show tonight, guys. Really, I can sense all of our anticipation for what's about to happen because we don't get celebrations every year. Maybe they'll start doing it manually again, but when we get Celebration now, it feels more special. Every 2-3 years, it seems like we're getting them, and that is just okay because it's more hype to build up. But I'm going to throw it over to Milton again off the top of the show. We know you're going to that convention. If people want to follow you and see the cool stuff that's happening at Steel City Con, where can they follow you again?
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram at Milton7Weber or Twitter at MiltonWeber7. Hit me up. Check out the stuff I recently posted regarding Star Wars and Stranger Things. Hopefully, once I get some good photos this upcoming weekend, I'll post those as well. Again, love talking Star Wars. I'm excited for these next couple of weeks. Like, this is the time. This is why we're fans. Conventions. It's talking to your friends. It's the excitement of potential new properties being created or new content being made for the fans. And hopefully we as a fandom can appreciate it, respect it, critique it appropriately, talk about it. But, let's not be extra negative. This is a time for us to celebrate.
There you go. Oh, I love that message. That's what's so great about Celebration, guys. Like, until you actually go, you won't probably completely comprehend the togetherness that you have with all your fellow Star Wars. And I'm going to be in another country with people that have a different written language and a different speaking language altogether. So, and the fact that we can point at something and go, hey, I like that, or that's cool. And we kind of bond and we're on the other side of the world. Like, that is so cool. So I'm hoping to make new friends from across the globe, meet up with old friends that I haven't seen in years, that whole thing. That's what Celebration is, because when it comes down to it, it's actually not about panels. It's celebrating Star Wars with your friends, right? Celebration back in the day when I didn't go, back in its early infancy, there was no news feeds. There was no big news buzz. It wasn't the churning of the news to get the clicks on the websites. It was just simply like, hey, we like Star Wars. We maybe like to dress up as Star Wars characters. Let's go to a place and hang out, maybe buy some cool comic books and action figures. Now it's a lot different, but that same vibe still persists, and that's what it comes down to. So if you're going and you're mad that you're not getting into a panel, I know it sucks. I've been there, done that, but just realize that you're there and you're privileged to be there to go have fun with Star Wars fans. So make sure you do that first and foremost. So there you go. So Ben, where can the people find you?
Yeah, I was gonna give another quick little tiny week in Star Wars to bookend the episode tonight. So I forgot to mention, guys, at the top of the hour when we started, and you reminded me, Chris, when you mentioned Young Jedi Adventures when you were talking about that. So this past Friday night, here's a fun little story, like showing Star Wars impacting the younger generation. So we went over to my sister's, and my niece who's almost 4 and my niece who's 2.5, they both were locked in because on Friday nights on whatever, I think Disney Junior or something, they just play like tons of episodes in a row, like 5 or 6, 7 episodes in a row of Young Jedi Adventures. And they were like locked in watching that show. And then my older niece had her baton and she was like swinging it around going like a lightsaber.
Oh, that's great.
Watching the show. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Like, this is showing my my uncle's skills are working because they're watching Star Wars without even me initiating it. And like my 2-year-old niece, she was just like locked in, just staring at the screen, watching Young Jedi Adventures. And they just were like having a good time with it. And I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. So, yeah, I just had to throw that in there, with Milton and you talking about like, the fans and like Star Wars impacting people and everything. I just had to like throw that in there before our hiatus. But yeah, anyways, you guys can find me at Real Ben Maynard on X or Instagram, and I'll probably be posting about like the Star Wars news, of course, me continuing to diet and progress on that, and yeah, and thanks again for everybody tuning in tonight. It was a good episode, and it's always fun getting on here talking Star Wars.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shouting out the chat, right? We got Small Benta Sakura was talking when I was talking about that Clone Wars-esque original trilogy show. She said, "Oh yeah, there's so much potential right there. There seriously is. I really hope that's the route they're going." My co-host over at Tractor Beam, Matthew, is trying to scorn me right now. So I'm hoping they save all the big book announcements for San Diego Comic-Con. Joke. No, Nope. I'll take that back. He's covering that event. I'm covering this one. So we're gonna take a dual approach to the big cons this year. And then Small Bento Sakura said, I'd like to see some more animated shorts. So yeah, give us more tales, whether it be Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales of the Sith, Tales of the Smugglers. I don't even know. Tales of whatever. We're gonna hopefully see some more. So there you go. As far as for my content here, I can't promise anything live because I don't know how the internet is going to be. Probably not that great. So I'll have plenty of stuff to probably show you guys on my channel when I get back and edit and upload. I might try to take some pictures from here to there, but I'll probably be busy recording with my camcorder most of the time, as I usually do over there when I go to these places. So stay locked here on the channel. I'll be uploading stuff, but I still have my tractor beam recording this upcoming Wednesday. Then I'm going to be going dark for a couple weeks. So we hope that you guys all enjoyed this. Hopefully you all enjoy CouchCon. If you can't make it, that's what makes Star Wars Celebration so nice, is being able to enjoy it from the comfort of your home, eating your favorite snacks, and just hanging out there over a long weekend. But for Ben, for Milton, for Chris, aka Starrapter, that's going to do it for this episode of Outer Rim Transmission. We'll see you on the other side for all the celebration goodness, all the Andor goodness. So until then, may the Force be with you always in transmission.